bus route to be considered. I'm asking for action. There's a reason why I did not agree to the word "to consider" being added to my motion, and that's because the time for consideration has gone. We've already wasted 5 months considering. It's now time for action. And I would like to reiterate that alternatives where we call on, according to both Collins and Oxford authorities, are not considered. They are demand, request, bid, appeal and plea. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm making an appeal on behalf of Fobbing residents to immediately fund a temporary rerouting of a bus every other hour for just 3 to 8 days a week from now until the end of March to ensure our elderly and vulnerable residents can safely get access to food and medical services during the dark winter months and the worst of the bad weather. This will then allow Thurrock Council a further 4 months of consideration in the hope that they will include Fobbing in their thoughts for the new financial year. I'd like to thank the officers for requesting members to consider why a service should be supported for this area and not others, because the answer to that is simple. There is no other area in the whole of Thurrock that doesn't have a bus service of some sort. Fobbing is the only place in Thurrock that has been completely cut off and stranded. The people of Fobbing have no shops, no bank, no post office, no library, no medical centre and no way out of the village unless you can drive and are able-bodied and fit enough to walk 3 miles up and down the hill. This is a desperate situation, one that's been fully recognised by the Corringham, Fobbing and Homesteads Community Forum, who are funding an emergency taxi for a quick shopping trip into Corringham twice a week for the most vulnerable of residents. And today being the first day saw it fully booked with 8 who were today finally able to enjoy the benefits afforded to all other Thurrock residents. However, this does not by any means compensate for the loss of much needed public transport for hospital, medical and dental visits. And on that note, I'd like to ask my fellow councillors to just take another look at page 5 of the agenda and remind themselves of Thurrock Vision. Point number 4 says, improve health and well-being. It goes on to say, reduce inequalities in health and well-being and safeguard the most vulnerable people with timely intervention. And that, councillors, is all I'm asking for us to treat Fobbing residents as equal to everyone else in Thurrock and vote for timely intervention. Now, you can show me your graph of doom and we can bleat on about the cuts, and I can counteract it with areas where there's still waste of ratepayers' money. £9,000 is less than half of 1% of the electricity bill for council offices. So if everyone actually remembered to turn off the lights and heating at night before going home, or turn the thermostat down by just 1 degree, we could easily provide this transport fix. We can waste time taking political pops at each other, or we can focus on what's important. Tonight is not about proportioning blame for decision making, it's about focusing on the unfortunate consequences of those decisions and putting right the unfairness and inequalities it's caused. Fobbing residents have as much right as everyone else to receive medical treatment and shop for food. Thanks.
Councillor Stewart for raising the issue of buses this evening, and I'm very glad for the opportunity to update members on the latest developments with regard to our subsidised services. As members will recollect, the budget available for bus services had been set to drop to 0 in the next financial year. Thanks to government cuts, we faced the very real possibility of being able to run no services at all. However, over recent months, I was very pleased to meet residents in both Fobbing and Hornsey-on-the-Hill to listen to their concerns and ideas about the best way forward. We have also conducted consultations with overview and scrutiny and residents across the borough to gather their views and document the need for these services. As I have said on previous occasions, I see these subsidised bus services as very important to all our communities right across the borough, from Aveley and Ockenden through to Horndon and Fobbing. I don't believe that having no such services at all is an acceptable way forward. A lot of work has been done by members and officers looking at potential ways forward, including detailed negotiations with other departments over funding approaches. I'm therefore pleased to announce that, subject to a number of conditions, we now believe that we have a strong plan for a way forward. Very shortly we will be tendering for an improved number 11 service, which in addition to its current route will serve both Horndon and Fobbing, restoring a full bus service to these areas in 2016-17 without incurring significant additional costs. This will be of course dependent on the success of the tendering process. It will also be reliant on the upcoming parking plan being passed, with additional revenue from schemes within that being hypothecated towards local bus service provision. Through this plan we have the most realistic chance of maintaining the maximum coverage of our subsidised routes, while continuing to secure the savings that we have already made in previous years. Madam Deputy Mayor, in light of the progress that we have made on this issue more generally, and the update I've given tonight, I do agree with this motion. The Cabinet should look at whether we can offer some temporary assistance at a reasonable cost over the Christmas period, and I'm sure we can come to some degree of cross-party consensus on this issue.
I attend the Corringham and Fobbing Forum and know firsthand how hard the withdrawal of this bus service is impacting on the residents of Fobbing. Fobbing is known to be an affluent area, but there are a large number of elderly residents who don't drive, and the bus service has been vital to them in the past. Many residents of Fobbing need a bus service so as to attend hospitals and doctor's appointments. Just shopping at present has become a huge task for some residents. Corringham and Fobbing Forum are trying to help out by part funding a basic taxi and minibus service. This is only for an interim timescale for Christmas and the early winter period. It's been stated that some 60 to 70 residents have been affected by the withdrawal of this bus service. And I know that Council are under pressure due to central government cutbacks, but surely can we at Council please find a way to find some sort of bus service for the vulnerable residents of Fobbing. Madam Mayor, Madam Deputy Mayor, I feel that if central government continues to cut grants to the Borough Council though at the present rate, then we as local councils may need to work together to inform central government that basic services in this borough will be under pressure and the residents of the borough will suffer as a consequence. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Brown-Little.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. I think it's a shame that I have to stand up today and say something about buses. I'm on the Overview and Security Committee. I'm the chair of that committee. The committee doesn't work if when you ask for something to happen or you ask for somebody to go forward with something in a reasonably speedy way, that's ignored. I feel that the announcement being made tonight by the portfolio holder to be a little bit of a slap in the face for a committee that's trying to do its best for its residents and not coming up with a solution previously. Finding money and finding the way of doing something now, and I'm not going to try to stop the number 11 bus going forward, but to sit there, stand up and talk about what we can do for the future when there's a consultation happening, haven't seen the result of it yet, hasn't gone before standards and audit, hasn't gone before Cabinet as far as I know, although somebody can tell me different. And the request that I made at the Overview and Scrutiny Committee was that they move the bus for a period of time to allow people in Fobbing to have the opportunity of having a service. That didn't happen. So I just can't understand what's the point of having an Overview and Scrutiny Committee when nobody takes any flipping notice. I think he said another word. I will be supporting this motion, and it's a bloody shame we didn't do it earlier and just stop not messing about in this chamber at 9:51 at night when somebody should have sorted it out 3-4 months ago.
Councillor, I appreciate your own wit, but please can you try and refrain the use of language. Councillor Bedfield.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll keep it short. I'd like to congratulate Councillor Gerrish on this. He's obviously listened. Okay, as Councillor said, it's taken quite a long time for it perhaps to sink home, but he's listened. And also, we have got obviously a reduced income from central government, but yet again, necessity is the mother of all invention. And from this, Councillor Gerrish has obviously got smaller pot to work with, is actually working with that pot to make it happen. All I really want to hope and want some reassurance is it will happen before the end of this winter, preferably the first or second item on the next agenda of Cabinet. There will probably be some of the admin stuff that needs to go through, things like the Traffic Commissioner being notified 56 days in advance. By the time 56 days happens, we're going to be in February, and that's not really acceptable. If we're doing our bit, and it certainly sounds like Councillor Gerrish is going to be pushing for this council to do our bit, we think the Transport Commission will do that should do the same. As such, Stephen Metcalfe MP has already written to the Traffic Commissioner's office asking that if it is applicable a 56-day wait, that he waive this under the fact that it is an emergency for those poor people of Fobbing left 3 miles from any kind of service. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Snell.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a little bit of clarification, actually. The motion has been changed to we ask Cabinet to immediately fund an alteration to the bus route. Just want to clarify that, Councillor Gerrish, you're actually saying that you can do that. The funds are available to do that.
It's important to note, and from Councillor Gledhill's point of view as well, the update was with regards to the 2016-17 funding. Now, if we pass this motion tonight, what we call on Cabinet to do is fund an interim solution before that full solution is implemented. And I think that's where that is additional incremental funding in year rather than looking at next year's budget. Now, that's a broader question for Council in terms of whether or not we're willing to bear that cost. I think that's a decision for Council this evening.
Councillor Ray.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. I was very pleased actually that the motion's been changed, because in the first degree I would have had to turn around and say no, as much as I do feel that people who are out on the limb and live in rural areas, how hard pressed they must be, but one has to be sort of a bit pragmatic, and I believe if the bus services are not getting the footfall to use the service, then there's only so far we can go to subsidise these. Also, I'm very pleased that I can now be able to vote for the motion, because we're going to help people out over the winter period, which I think is important. And also I'd like to praise Councillor Gerrish for his update, because I'm sure the people of Aveley were going to know, very pleased that the number 11 route was saved, and as I use that route once a month myself, it will be quite interesting to get some more scenic views with a trip round Fobbing and Fobbing. So, I will be voting for that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Rose.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I've got several things here to say, but I'm running out of time, so I won't be able to say them. I fully support the motion, and I urge everybody else to do so. Thank you very much.
Councillor Stewart, would you like to sum up briefly?
Yeah, I'm going to be really brief because I want us to get to the vote. I'd just like to thank Councillor Gerrish for better late than never supporting this. And Councillor Ray, I do understand your concerns. What I'm hoping is that we can use this temporary fix to get some quantitative data on whether there is a need for a bus, because that wasn't done before it was done. That's it. I'm just relying on everybody to help Fobbing now.
I'm going to